The gods from all the ancient mythologies are real. To be sure, the mythologies of the world show a shared common history. And the gods were real, they existed. Who were they? You can say they were aliens, they weren't born here. The demigods, however, were born on Earth. What am I talking about? Where are they from? Space, more appropriately called heaven. The gods from the ancient pantheons, I mean the main gods, not the demigods, are these fellas right here, not that one. Why are the planets in our solar system named after the gods? Because these are their celestial bodies, their immortal celestial bodies. I'm not being funny, man, this is dead literal. Well, the Book of Enoch named 200 angels, you might say. Have you counted all their moons, bro? So wait, I thought you said aliens, though. I thought you said these guys were aliens from outer space. Hold on. Yes, the aliens. None of these planets were born on Earth. Get it? They're all from heaven, do you see? They were all born in heaven. I'm not being funny. Look, the Fermi paradox says that space should be teeming with life. According to the laws of physics, it should be everywhere. We should be talking to aliens all over the place. Why aren't we? There isn't any life and there are no aliens, the Fermi paradox says. Paradoxically. Don't be a fool. Look at all the aliens in space, fam. There they all are. Easily seen, clear and present with us today. The stars are the super advanced, hyper-conscious, immortal celestial entities in space, the ETs, the extraterrestrials. The stars themselves are alive. The stars all have names. They all have jobs to do in reality here. These fellas right here, not being symbolic, not being metaphorical, these fellas right here reign over the earth with God. As real as you can imagine, get a good look at your forces of nature. Why would the forces of nature be personified? Because they have personalities. Now I'm gonna be as clear as a bell. Planet means wandering star. If you'll notice, these fellas right here are just as bright in the night sky as all the rest of the stars. How could that be? Put your hand down, NASA, I'm giving this lecture. Wandering stars, they're called this because of the patterns that they make in the sky that are very different from all the rest of the stars moving in unison. They all dance to a seemingly different tune than the rest of the stars in the night sky, tracing out patterns of sacred geometry throughout the year. Now I'm talking about by way of astrophysics, if you must. Behold the antediluvian forces of nature. How are the planets the forces of nature on Earth, though? That doesn't make sense. Yes, it does. It's in the math. In the same way that the solar system is the same relative structure as the atom, and every part and piece and subatomic particle in the atom is vitally important to the functioning of the atom, all parts affecting one another, so it is the same relatively in the solar system. The spinning and whirling around ain't just for nothing, it's for everything. I've shown you how sacred geometry, the same patterns these planets, these wandering stars, trace out in the night sky throughout the years. One of those spirograph things you draw complex geometric shapes, 3D shapes with your 2D paper and your pen and your spirograph. Just as the planets trace out sacred geometry in the sky, sacred geometry is also cell division. It's also particle oscillations. It's also atomic orbitals. That's why I call it relative. There's the same relative structures. They're all doing that specifically, that orbitals thing, that cell division thing, that sacred geometry thing. What's doing that? Everything is doing the sacred geometry thing. And it all works together. Now I know NASA wants you to believe that these are just dead rocks. And the truth behind that is, while these bodies are celestial and immortal, they are floating around up there without souls. Why? What happened to the souls of these immortal, celestial, super advanced ETs? They came down to Earth in the days of Noah. They saw women down here and they were like, look at that. Let's go down there and make wives of them. You see, these fellas neither marry nor are they given in marriage. They're all the lowercase s sons of God. The gods, lowercase g. Angels, you see. Aliens? No, angels. Okay? That's what I've been talking about this whole time. Angels, this isn't space, it's heaven, the second heaven. You can't see the third heaven, paradise, where the throne of God is. We can see and know the first heaven, it's the sky. The second heaven is this thing NASA calls space. And above that is the dark matter, paradise, the third heaven. We can't see or know the dark matter, but we can see what it does in the cosmic dance. It's absolutely reliant on that dark matter and energy that makes up 95% of the known universe. Can't see it, can't measure it. How do we know it? Oh, it affects everything. How dependent is reality on the dark matter and energy? Entirely. Without it, we would not exist at all. This is a top-down scenario, you know. But the stars are the angels that we can see. They definitely reign over the earth, and I mean do stuff mechanically. Even on the smallest levels you can't even imagine, neutrinos, affecting the binary code of our reality all day, every day by the gajillions. From every direction, I ain't making none of that up. Just like electron orbitals are no accidents, no random thing that's just happening and swirling in an atom. It definitely has a form and a function. So too are the stars to the earth. Leg bone's connected to the knee bone. Anyway, these fellas left their bodies to come down to earth and have bodies on earth so they could mate with women. Because of course, a planet is not compatible in this form. How could angels abandon their first estate and come down to the earth? Well, it's kind of like, you put a VR headset on and it gets stuck. How about that? If you can't imagine Johnny Depp uploading his consciousness in that movie, Transcendent. Uploading a human consciousness to a computer, just put the VR goggles on and imagine it that way. They abandoned their first estate. And to this day, these are soulless immortal celestial bodies, because these fellas got bound in chains and thrown into hell when God flooded the earth in the days of Noah. Their offspring, the demigods, all drowned in the flood, but did not get bound in chains. These are the demons. That's why they're very concerned with not going back into the abyss, the abyssal zones where the earth cracked open, the fountains of the deep in the days of Noah. They go all the way down into hell. The demons got to crawl all the way up from there to get back out. What did Alex Jones say? They're coming out of the oceans? So to summarize, in the days of Noah, angels, and I mean these fellas right here specifically, quit their bodies to come to earth and mate with women and have offspring. That is not allowed. Now what about Satan and 1/3 of the angels of heaven? Was that them? No. Satan and his 1/3 of the stars of heaven have never been to hell. They're still in heaven. Satan roams around like a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour on the earth, and then he takes those VR goggles off and accuses the brethren day and night before God. I will say clearly, all the prophecies about Satan compare him to the angels who abandoned their first estate in the days of Noah. And this is why there is confusion that Satan's never been to hell? What? No, these are the fellas that are in hell. Satan and his angels haven't been thrown down to the earth yet. These fellas abandoned their celestial bodies to come to earth. Satan and 1/3 of the angels of heaven are going to get thrown down, losing their morning stars, their glorified celestial bodies forever. And that's what it means, the guest at the wedding supper without a wedding garment on. How camest thou in here, friend, having not on a wedding garment? Will be said to Satan after Armageddon, the marriage supper of the Lamb, where he will be bound in those same everlasting chains and cast into hell for the first time after Armageddon. Some of these fellas get loosed just before Armageddon. Satan will also be let loose out of hell after the millennial reign of Christ for a short season to deceive the nations once more, to come down for Armageddon Part 2, like these fellas will deceive the nations to come down for Armageddon Part 1. One story on repeat, that's why history repeats. Told you all about the wheel within a wheel, the repeating of history, the repeating of one pattern in everything you can name, as a matter of fact. It's that binary code, it's that spring, summer, fall, and winter. It's that particle oscillation, it's that atomic orbital. It's that solar system, it's that galaxy. Toroids all the way down. To recap, here are the aliens. They are angels. Yes, they are immortal. Yeah, they're super, super duper advanced. Conscious entities with responsibilities and jobs according to the earth. Whereas these are soulless, unconscious, immortal celestial bodies. Not that one, that's where we are. Still conscious right there. One of their offspring survived the flood, though the bloodline was real diluted. Ham's wife. So that after the flood it gets real interesting. With the Greeks claiming to be descended from the gods. They were. But that's another lecture. As the days of Noah were, so shall it be in those days when the Son of Man shall begin to appear.